All right, hey, let's talk about another P&S product, one of my favorite, and that's going to be Defender in the double black lineup. And so what is Defender? A lot of people ask us, is it spray coating? Is it SiO2 based? So let's clarify some of the confusion and or questions people have been sending our direction for the past 12 months. So we have been testing the product. It hasn't been out for a full 12 months, but we've had it on a lot of our personal vehicles and test vehicles all over the country. And it is an SiO2-based protectant. It's pretty high in SiO2 as far as a sprayable goes too. So it's there. Longevity, let's talk about that. It is not a replacement for durable hand-applied coatings, but in our initial testing, get this, now this was lab test, is we got 6 to 12 months out of pretty extensive testing. Then we took it into the field. Now I live at 6,700 plus feet in the mountains of California. This environment is absolutely horrible on automotive finishes. And so we had Snowmageddon, AKA another word for a horrible winter this last winter. Defender was on our vehicles and it stood up really, really well. So even in these harsh conditions, we got a really good 6 months out of it. Now over summer, we noticed something different. Is once we cleaned them up, we took and clayed them back up, got all the contaminants off the vehicles again, got all the winter grime off them. We took and retreated them with Defender again, and we got even longer life expectancy out of the product in real world. Now these vehicles are used every single day, and again, a really harsh environment. Matter of fact, it's been over 6 months now. The product's still playing out very, very well. We are going to take and treat them one more time going into winter, and we're really excited about it. Okay, so let's talk about what Defender is and isn't, some do's and some don'ts. First off, there's not a lot of don'ts. The thing it's not is it's not a weekly maintenance. You're gonna wanna use Bead Maker for that purpose. This is more of a long-term quarterly. We like using it every quarter on a vehicle. That seems to be a great number to kind of add to it. It's also not a clay lube, so you don't wanna use it in wash clay and coat situations, as it doesn't play well with clay surfaces, kind of deteriorates it. The other thing that we really like about this is it's an enhancement. Is we've tested it on dozens and dozens of name brand coatings, and it's played very well with all those different brands, even outside of the P&S lineup. All right, so now we're going to take and show you how Defender works. There's a couple different ways of putting it on. We're going to use my wife's old classic 22-year-old Porsche Boxster S as a guinea pig. And what we're going to do is show you a mist on. What that means, a mist on, is just a light surface coverage. What applications do we do that? Maintenance, every 2 to 3 months, really 3 months is probably fine, is we'll just put a nice light coat back over the car, rub it in, rub it off, and you're good to go. Now a soak, that's another term that we use. How we're using it on heavier applications is when you're in a harsh environment like what we are, where it needs a little more oomph, or you've coated the vehicle and you want it to interact with the coating and create some longevity. What we do on pretty much every coating we've tested it on, well, every single coating, matter of fact, is we put the coating on, and 45 minutes to an hour later is we actually do a soak onto the top of the coating. Now, does that affect the coating in a negative or positive way? We have seen nothing but positive. Matter of fact, we had some lab tests done that shows that this creates, that bond it creates with a coating will take and be able to take and stand up to acid-based products and liquids, environmental fallout and so forth, that 100, 200, 300 times stronger than just a coating by itself. So it's going to add to that barrier, that artificial barrier that we're trying to get onto the coating over the top of the clear coat. So another question we get, and then we're going to get on to showing how to use it, is can I use it on my single stage Classic? Is we've got a 67 Chevelle in the background. Product's been used a lot on that old single stage paint. It absolutely loves it. As long as the paint's in good shape and it's not oxidized, you're going to be great. I would not put it on oxidized paint. I wouldn't put anything on oxidized paint. That's a great opportunity to correct it, make it shiny, then put some Defender on it. All right, so this first application I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a light mist on. This is going to be just kind of a maintenance, is the Porsche's had Defender put on. It's got a couple layers of coating already on it. The one thing I want to point out is that we've got plastic trim here, and then we've got glass, we've got rubber, we've got a convertible top. Don't let that worry you at all. We've put it on all these surfaces. Naturally, we're not going to spray it directly on the convertible top, but if it gets on there, just wipe it dry. It's not a real big deal. So I'm going to take it on this side. We're just going to put a mist technique. And you kind of zoom in here and you'll see I'm not putting it on over heavy. Matter of fact, I just want it to kind of bead on the surface. So again, I'm going to use another technique here. I'm just going to take and kind of come in. It smells really good. I love the smell of this. Dave, you nailed it. And so I'm going to come through and just do, and you can see I'm not doing a large section right now. I'm going to let it sit there just for a second. I've got FTW towels right now. I love these towels for this. I'm going to rub it in with a wet towel, which means that this towel is just going to be used as the initial wipe down. So I'm going to start on the windshield and just get it off. Naturally, you want to do this in the shade. You don't want to do it out in the direct sun. It works a little better. Now, this towel is real dry, so I'm going to go ahead and come through and just use the flip side. Then I'm going to wipe down the plastic. And then from there, I'm going to go right in. Again, I like to keep my towels kind of folded over nicely. You can see it. If you come in, it's really already beating up and coming together. So you're creating a great bond on the surface. Again, full stroke is I'm going to take and do full stroke on the paint, meaning I'm going tip to tail. Then I'm going to come across with the dry towel and just blend it in. Just blend it in. Not going to go into the dirty area right there. You can see it's nice and fresh. There's no streaks. You can see the line on the left. That tells me we're going to go. So now on the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the way that we use a soak, which will get it penetrated into the coating a little stronger and maybe a little more protection. All right, so we put a light mist on there, and I'm not kidding you. Is just the difference from the side that we just did to here. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but these guys are sitting there as witness to me. You can see the shine difference from the side I just did. Even the clarity and the lights is just with a sprayable. It's pretty incredible. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and I'm going to do the soak technique. And what I'm doing on that, you're going to see it on the windshield. You really don't need to do it on the windshield, but I'm going to show you for purposes just so you can see how much thicker I'm putting it on than the first one. So what I like to do with this, especially after a fresh coating's been put onto the car, is I'm going to put it on. You can start seeing it run. That's called a soak technique. Then when I'm going to come over, I'm going to shoot it from the side I already did so I don't splatter the other side. And you can see I'm going to put it on pretty liberal. So I'm putting a lot on there. I'm going to overlap a little bit. And again, this is putting it on heavier. The first application was a light mist. This one we went a little heavier, try to get it down into the pores of the paint. So I've got my wet towel I'm going to hit it with first. So I'm going to go ahead and just let it soak. I'll let it sit there. And so I'll come through with my towel. I'm going to wipe that windshield in, okay? Then I'm going to buff it off with a dry towel. Then I'll come around the edges, clean it up, do the same thing with the plastic. I'm going to hit the arms. And you see it just kind of pops that plastic a little bit. Going to go ahead and set that down now. And again, kind of take this opportunity to straighten my towels up a little bit. Wish these were bigger. Like nice big towels for this. Okay, so now overlapping, again, full panel, tip to tail. I'm not going to do the scrub technique. I'm actually going to take and just tip the tail, wipe it in. Then I'm going to come over where I started, overlap it, okay, and then just wipe it off clean. And it should be streakless, should look great, should feel great. Come in and use it as a nice maintenance every quarter. And pretty much put it on every surface of the car that's out there. So with that, I think that's what we got for right now. Let's finalize this and talk a little bit more about Defender and its uses. All right, so we showed you how to use Defender with just a light mist spray, and then also how to soak it. Some other really good uses for the product is we've got a lot of people, I put it on all my wheels and tires. Right here off camera is my overland rig. Soak the wheels down. It really helps take and protect the wheels from getting a lot of gunk on them. We're out off-roading. It's great on glass. I've been putting it on the protective screen in the Ram truck, those screens. The big entertainment center is just massive. And so I put it on there and it kind of slows down my fingerprint buildup. And then also most recently is we've had some people using it as, believe it or not, now don't quote me on this, but putting it on as a tire protectant. So when somebody really doesn't like a dressing, they're putting it on the tires. It's creating a nice factory look to it. And I can tell you, when we come back from off-roading, all it takes is a pressure washer to wash all the gunk off, and the tires look great again. So I hope this helps you in how to kind of get familiar with Defender, some realities of it, and some uses of it. It's a great product, easy to use. We want to thank you for coming to the shop today. We'll see you next time.